I always had a problem with sleeping growing up. Many times I'd get sleep paralysis, but after I blessed my room, it hasn't happened in months. But this happened to me about a year ago. I woke up in the middle of the night frozen. If I tried to move, I'd get a really loud ringing noise in both my ears, and it would get louder each time I moved. I was terrified. I was too scared to open my eyes, but I felt a presence of someone in the room with me. And just for reference, my room isn't completely dark because I have a small blue night light. I open my eyes and see a very tall and dark figure with two horns on each side of his head just standing there in the corner of my room facing me. I panic and try to move my body, but the ringing gets louder and louder, and I can feel myself crying. I close my eyes, and in my head I start saying, "God will protect me. God will protect me." Then I hear a low evil voice say, "God can't help you anymore." When I was 16, I was riding horses with my friend in the field beside her house. The horse threw me and I hit my head hard. The next thing I know, I'm on my back in incredible pain staring up at my friend, who is frantically screaming at me. My gaze shifted and then refocused on her friend behind her. A tall, thin man wearing a black suit and an old-fashioned, wide-brimmed hat. He was staring unblinking into my eyes over my friend's shoulder. Days later, she came to visit me in the hospital, and I asked her about the man I'd seen. I thought it was the new boyfriend she'd recently told me about. She told me there was no one there but me and her. When I was 7, I suddenly awoke in the middle of the night to a young child kneeling near my bed, praying. At first, I thought it was my younger brother, so I asked him what he was doing. After I asked, he slowly looked at me and stood up and started running. So I hopped out of bed and followed him down my stairs and out my front door. We had a long driveway, and I followed him all the way to the end, and then he simply vanished. I went back to my room, and nothing like that has happened since. I was home alone and in the bath, but I had closed the door so that my dogs wouldn't run in and try to jump into the bath too. I was in there for a good 45 to 50 minutes, and when I climbed out and opened the door, there had been a table moved right in front of the door. I never heard a thing while it was happening, never even heard my dogs bark, and they bark for anything. And they were playing outside, which is so strange for them. I was visiting my dad last summer and trying to fall asleep when suddenly I felt a hand grab my ankle. I kicked furiously at whatever was grabbing me, jumped out of bed and screamed. There was nothing there. My dad came running into the room and found me sitting on the floor, facing the bed. He asked me what was wrong and didn't believe me when I said nothing, that I thought something grabbed me, and even checked the closet. I immediately felt embarrassed, but it felt so real. I've never had something like that happen before or since.